Welcome into the Roll Tide Rewind. We are fresh off a playoff committee reveal of Alabama as the 9 seed. We are going to go at 8 seed Oklahoma. Winner will play in the Rose Bowl against Indiana. Cam, how do you feel about that draw, considering the defeat Alabama had yesterday? Well, we're filming this on Sunday, yesterday against Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, I was talking in our group chat, and I think that's probably the best draw you could ask for. I'm still not sold on Indiana. I think they're a great team, but like in the grand scheme of things, Ohio State still has the best odds to win the national championship. So given we could avoid Ohio State until the national championship, that's a pretty good draw, especially losing against Georgia, getting to avoid them until the national championship. I don't know. You couldn't ask for a better draw. I don't know, looking at what the board could have looked like prior to the committee's ranking reveal.
Oh, absolutely. Like, would you rather have gone, at Texas A&M or, at Oregon? I don't think so. Well, we're going to talk about Ty Simpson today. Let's just face it, he's been struggling. He's fallen off. Since November started, Alabama's played LSU, Oklahoma, Eastern Illinois, Auburn, and Georgia. In those games, Ty Simpson has a 58.7% completion percentage, 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. His passer rating, this is college passer rating, 120.27. In retrospect, compare it to the NFL, a perfect passer rating is 158.3. Ty's is 80.03. The best NFL comparison right now for Ty Simpson is Dylan Gabriel. He doesn't start anymore. 6.5 yards per attempt, very, very lackluster. Longest completed pass in the last 3 games, 27 yards. Cam, what has happened with Ty Simpson? Have defenses figured him out?
Something's happened. And what's crazy is if you look at the statistical numbers, Oklahoma was probably the last time he put up a good game if you subtract the negative plays. Ever since that game, he's just looked out of sorts. It seems like the defenses are like giving him trouble at the start of the snap, and he's not getting that quick passing game, quick passing concepts out. Doesn't know where he's supposed to go, or at least maybe the wide receivers aren't getting open. And then he's lost, and the offensive line just can't block that long. He has happy feet, and it's over.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put it. But the great news about the negative plays about the Oklahoma game, Cam, that's exactly what we're going to jump into. Let's start off with this 3rd and 7, first third down of the game against this. We're all looking at Oklahoma film because that's the next game Alabama's going to have. And on this play right here, Ty is going to get sacked. Probably a coverage sack, but one thing I want people to notice about the beginning of this play, watch Jam Miller right here. Opens up. Ty, I feel like has had an issue in the past few games. Cam, I don't know if you've seen this or not. Probably have. But he's not really taken what the defense gives him. I think Alabama's like picking their mark before the play has started of where Ty's going to throw the football. And I just feel like that hasn't been successful lately. Like Daniel Hill had a few plays against Georgia where he bounced out of the backfield and Ty never looked his way when no Georgia defender was around him. Same thing happens with a few tight end plays. That's one thing I've noticed is Ty is sometimes forcing these passes or holding the ball too long with a very, 50-50 offensive line and causing negative plays. What have you seen from this?
Yeah, I mean, I think that play, I don't know if you go back to like the before they snap the ball, just pause it and kind of like it looks, I mean, they're showing 2 high safeties here. I think based on how it kind of plays out, we kind of get zoomed in down the quarterback, but I think they drop into cover 4 or so. And this like linebacker on the far right side, like kind of is in that like flat zone, and eventually goes to Miller. But like, it doesn't feel like the defense is like transitioning into that post snap. Like Ty should be able to see, hey, it looks like I'm going to get cover 4. Here's my cover 4 answer. It's like, why are you not immediately going there? And I guess cover 4, sometimes you're looking for that deep shot. You're looking to beat them over the top. And obviously we can't see the routes because that's kind of how you get with the broadcast film. But it's interesting, and I would love to know what the routes were, what was the play call, and what was his cover 4 answer. And is he like waiting for that to develop? Is the receiver not getting open, or is he like just doubting his arm because he hasn't hit those deep balls?
Yeah. I know. Yeah, I agree. It's my all 22 skills don't come into play. I don't.
Yeah, it's not your fault.
Yeah, yeah. We don't have. We're not that privileged to have the all 22 access. Wish I did. I just steal it from Twitter or X. You guys. Let's go into this next play. This is the first interception. Well, it's actually the only interception of the game, but the next play we'll look at is also an interception that just thankfully got called back. But this is a play where I feel like we motion the running back to the trip side. We have a single receiver up top, which we think is probably a man coverage. Ty is going to Horton all the way on this throw. This play is always meant for Isaiah Horton. And I just think he flat out missed him. Like it was more so a thing of Ty just overshooting the receiver. And then now Oklahoma does bring a blitz here, and it's not picked up by Alabama. But that throw, I just never had a chance to get to Horton, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting because they don't go with jam there. So like that should be your man coverage tell is, jam goes in motion, that guy follows him, but he doesn't. So it's interesting to think about that. And given they're mugging the whole line, I think it's like, okay, this might be a cover 2 or like a blitz package where they're baiting you into a throw, which happens. That safety comes down hard on that route by Horton, and like maybe Ty gets scared, seeing that safety push down as hard as he is when that's his hot route, when he sees the blitz coming. Oh, that's my hot. I'm gonna go there, and they trapped me. They got me. He definitely misses the safety, but maybe he's throwing around him. I don't know. You still have to have a better answer than that. Like if they're going to call a trap play, you gotta look away. You got to throw it out of bounds. You can't just throw into the trap.
Yeah. They fell right into the trap. And then on this next play, I feel like almost the same kind of thing happens as Ty really misreads this coverage. Motioning Jerry Bernard, Lockseer is going to do like a very deep slant into the end zone. And I don't think Ty sees the safety that's just kind of waiting for him right there. Yeah. Now, we get bailed out here because of the flag on Lockseer, on the hold on Lockseer, but they didn't have to do that. They wasn't because the hold was this play not going to be intercepted. This play was going to be intercepted either way, even if Lockseer wasn't touched.
Yeah, and thinking about those 2 plays that we just went over, I remember in the game, both of those were really pass interference prior to the interception. Thankfully, that one got called, but like the last play, it could have been flagged, and that was it felt like that was one of Oklahoma's game plans was, hey, they have some good wide receivers. We're gonna be physical, and we're gonna challenge the refs to call pass interference on many plays. The physicality Oklahoma's corners brought was definitely something to see. And even you can see here at the top of the route by Isaiah Horton, he's getting held on this play. That number 1 is starting to look very crooked there. So being physical is one thing they've been taught to do by Venables, but with the physicality, I wonder how much that throws off Ty's rhythm and time, but also his decision making. And then we go to this play here. I've just seen this way too more often than not in the past few weeks. Yeah,
like LSU game happened, Oklahoma game, but Ty's missing throws that were pretty routine for him in the beginning of the year, especially against the first Georgia game. He was lights out. No, it wasn't like he was missing. Vanderbilt game was good. I thought he was great against Missouri. I thought he started after the Missouri game to kind of slip a little bit, but these throws were pretty routine, and now they've just become difficult.
Yeah, it's always felt like Ty has had a hard time being accurate on really deep balls, but mid-range and short passes, he had been doing really well, throwing an accurate ball. I just think about last game with Georgia, like the Daniel Hill checking out of the backfield on maybe like a 3rd down, 3rd and 2 or something, and just like completely missed him like 3 yards in front of him where he could have just like threw a little touch pass, gets the first down easily. But yeah, this is seemingly a consistent thing from Ty. And that out route, I mean, the one against Georgia yesterday was a little more shallow, but still he misses that out route, and it was on 4th down, so the possession ended.
Yeah, just very much of a killer of a drive. And then this play resulted in Alabama having their 5th straight game in a row with a strip sack that was recovered by the other team. Thankfully, we're now on a 3-game streak of not being strip sacked. We're catching very close to the 5-game skid that we had here. But I think the pressure of the offensive line, sometimes it gets to him. Ty runs around a lot. I'm not going to really fault Ty for everything that's happened in the last, few weeks. But do you think this is a mix of play calling, mix of Ty not having a faster internal clock? Because I do see a lot with these plays is where the receivers run a lot of long developing routes, and that there's not like a safety blanket right then and there. Because you can even see here from the beginning of these routes at the top and at the bottom, all these guys are not looking at the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. I mean, I think looking at that play, I would assume Ty's thinking right when he sees the guys who's blitzing, who's not blitzing, he probably thinks, oh, we've got this covered. They actually, even though they show a pretty heavy pressure look, they only bring 5. And let me see, Hill sits in to block. So they have 6 blockers for 5 guys. So realistically, you should have time in the pocket. You should have time for those routes to develop. But Ty should have just thrown the ball away. Like, oh, this guy's coming around, boom, out. Like, I don't know. You're up 1. Oklahoma's offense has only been able to score with short fields. That's been the whole game. It's like, let's be a little conservative here. Maybe we, like you're saying, like we have a short check down route and we just play field position to get off the field, punt it away, and just allow Oklahoma to make the mistake instead of letting you make the mistake when you're on 3rd and 9 and you're pressured off the rip. Like that's the issue. It is Ty. You should throw it away, but like let's have a little more situational awareness as coaches on what play call we're going to call when the defense is playing lights out and the offense has been doing well, but you're up 1. You don't have to go down and score. You can give it to Oklahoma's offense and allow your defense to make a stop.
Yeah, and that's another thing too, especially in the Oklahoma and the Georgia games. Like, I know the Georgia game was 28-7. 2 of those drives, 2 of their touchdown drives from Georgia, both started inside the 20-yard line. So it's like, and the other one I think started like 40 yards to go. So like, even though the score looks, crazy bad, turnovers really killed Alabama in the Georgia game, and they really did the same thing in the Oklahoma game. Alabama, the final score ended up being 23-21. Oklahoma had a pick 6. They had a field goal handed to them right here, so that's 10 points. And then the other turnover in the game was a muffed punt that Oklahoma immediately scored a touchdown off of. That's 17 points just handed to them. So this has got to be a big importance for Alabama.
That's effectively what happened. They drove for 6 points the whole game, and Alabama gifted them 17.
Yeah,
that's awful.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think about. But
the good thing is it was a 21-23 game. Like Georgia yesterday, we drove for 7 points without any help. In Oklahoma, we drove for 3 touchdowns. Like, that should be a saving grace that, hey, we're good enough to score on this team. if we are patient with the ball and don't put ourselves into places where we are pressured, where we have to make a play. Oklahoma's defense is really good. We know that. And they're even better when you're one-dimensional and have no running threat. They're a good run defense, but if you're not running the ball and you have to score quickly, they don't have to worry about it. And they're good enough that if you throw in that once every while, they're going to make a stop. Like, that's the issue. You have to – it feels like the game plan has to be more conservative coming in.
No, I definitely agree with that. I think there's 2 more throws. Well, there's a few more, actually. But I remember this one specifically. 2nd and 21, Ty just took a pretty terrible sack after the 2-minute timeout or whatever. And this throw gets hand-gifted to him on 2nd and 21. This throw right there bounces to Horton. It's the same thing with the Jeremy Bernard thing. I really think he's limited throwing the ball downfield. I know people can tell me I'm wrong. That's okay. The stats prove that I'm right. He's not a good deep ball thrower. We don't throw the ball deep, and whenever we do, it's either overthrown or it's just never there. Now, yesterday against Georgia, we did throw a deep ball to Ryan Williams, and he got, pass interfered with. And then another deep ball to Ryan that he dropped, and then another deep ball to Jeremy Bernard that he dropped. So I'll give Ty grace there. I'll give Ty grace. He had 2 really good throws that the receivers did not finish for him. But routinely, I've seen him not deliver on these throws more likely than not.
Yeah, and he's almost in his head there, like, oh, that guy's open. I better get it. Like, oh, I messed it up. Like, the coaches are not putting him, or at least this situation is not ideal for someone who's struggling, who's having a hard time completing the passes that he should. And I think a lot of that is like, even in the beginning of the season, he was very hard on himself. He was every game that we had won, like in that 4-game stretch with Georgia and Tennessee and Mizzou, it felt like his conclusion of the game is, yeah, I played well, but I got to be better. I made some mistakes. I did this, I did that. And it's like, Ty, you're a good quarterback. You have to be confident. You have say that in the meeting, but someone needs to put some confidence into this guy, because this is what happens when your confidence is gone. He's hard on himself to begin with, and then he has 3 hard games and he isn't making those routine passes. It's only going to get himself harder. He's only going to be harder and harder on himself when he's not having good games. So I don't know how you fix that. I don't know if there is a fix at this point, but you can't be putting him in situations where, hey, your arm is going to save us. You're going to be our savior.
Looking into the next play that we have here, this is one thing I noticed a lot about what we talked about, Ty not giving what the defense gives him. Watch Jeremy Bernard here. We line him up, routinely in just weird spots around the field just to confuse defenses. But right there, and that's the ball that he throws. He, like I said, I think he pre-chooses who he throws the ball to. But with this look that Oklahoma gives, you realize quickly, a linebacker / defensive end is who's guarding Jeremy Bernard. And just if he gets the ball right there, I have confidence that Bernard's going to get in the end zone. But instead of forced throw to Horton, falls incomplete. Have you been seeing this a lot lately, Cam, or just kind of same things we've been talking about?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is surprising that, you look at this, the linebacker in the middle, if you pause it right at the beginning of the snap, this linebacker that's lined up right in the middle above 71, he's blitzing. So, if I'm Ty, and I understand maybe there's a quick route concept they're running on the far side, and we can only see Horton here, but maybe it's a double slant, and you're reading a certain guy and then making a decision based off what that guy does. But Ty's got to be smart. The linebacker in the middle blitzes. So who's covering Jeremy Bernard? Just off the rip, 1 second in, it's got to be someone who has bad leverage on him in the route that he's about to run. He's running a Texas route here, and the guy that's lined up to cover him is drifting to the flat. That should be screw this quick route concept. I've got 5 open. Like you were saying, it's like, one, it's a linebacker lined up on him, which I think that's the reason you put him in the backfield, is you're trying to get a mismatch in coverage. And then 2, it's like, oh, the guy that's in the middle is blitzing down, opening up that window, and the guy that's actually covering him has worse leverage, is out leveraged to the outside. Like, go 5, dude. Like we don't have to be like perfect. Oh, well, this is the coverage on the back end, and this is my one read that I'm reading, and I'm supposed to go on this slant route, so I'm going to throw it. It's like, play some backyard football. Hey, 5 is being covered by a bad player. Hit the route that he's running is good. I'm just gonna go with that. Go with the safe option.
Yeah, it's kind of like, when Alabama had like Devontae Smith in 2020, there would always be times in the game where, just because of alignment, a linebacker would line up on Devontae Smith, and almost every single time Alabama would take advantage of it. Like, it's like Mac Jones knew, like, before the play started, he looked and he goes, all right, I know where I'm going with the football. I don't care what the play call is. I know where I'm going with the football. Which most of that offense was throw the ball to Devontae Smith, but other guys did get the ball. But if you're just going to put a linebacker on Devontae Smith, I'm going to throw the ball to him every single play. And that's kind of the mindset I wish that we had here.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Especially when Bernard he hasn't been recently, but at that point he was easily the best wide receiver, or at least the hottest wide receiver on the team.
We'll do one play from the Georgia game. This was not Ty's finest performance at all. Worst QBR performance of the year. But this is the interception that he threw. I think this was on the second drive of the game. The score was 0-0, and momentum kind of shifted from here. But we've been talking a lot about Ty isn't given what the defense is giving him. Mm-hmm. We're going to show this play. I want you to watch the tight end here. He's the safety net. Mm-hmm. I don't believe this was a long third down. I mean, I think it counts as a third and long, mm-hmm. But why, this is such a force right here where this ball's getting thrown. Defender here. You're asking for a perfect throw of a receiver that's running right to this defender. Mm-hmm. And it ends up getting tipped by that defender, and it goes right into the other defender's hands, interception.
Yeah. Try to start here. Just like, it looks like that cornerback that's lined up, if you go to the start of the snap, let's see, right here. So this cornerback that's lined up on the far right, that I'm sure there's another guy up, like, even further out. Mm-hmm. But that guy, yeah, he drops back into like a safety coverage. So it's some kind of like it's the guy that isn't shown, drops into the safety. So obviously they're disguising the coverage on the at the snap. So yeah, and the guy that's circled from the broadcast also drops into a safety. So it's like a cover 2 invert, I think, is what they would call it. So I don't know if Ty doesn't see that as a cover 2. Yeah, because it's the mid read is the guy that he's throwing the ball into. That's who tips it here. Because you've got the 2 hooks underneath that mid read, and then that mid read is tipping the ball. So maybe he's thinking it's a cover 4 there. Well, yeah, I don't know exactly what he saw, but it's a dagger concept, or at least like maybe not dagger, but an in route there. And I think he's reading that linebacker that's on the left, and is under the impression that there shouldn't be a guy that's in the mid read. He's definitely not thinking they're playing cover 2 invert here. And that's what turns this play into an interception, is he's going based off of what the defense is showing him prior to the snap, not realizing, they've changed what they were showing, and throws a pick because he didn't read the coverage well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, definitely there. Definitely. I feel like this also could just be a thing of, Josh Cuevas hasn't played in a few weeks, and I feel like that's who he trusts to make this play. And I also feel like he's just not looking at the tight ends as often. I feel like that also could be a possibility here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think if he would have read that, this is a cover 2 invert, like, the Horton pushes out the flat player here because he runs up the field. And if he realized, oh, this is a cover 2, Horton's pushed out the guy that's it's the guy that lined up at linebacker, and he kind of like pushes out. It's neck. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? He like pushes out to follow 1, and that should be like, oh, that guy pushed out. They're playing cover 2. Let me like check down to my tight end, because when you're playing cover 2, you're trying to get the defense to like throw those underneath routes and then rally to tackle. But like you gotta, as a quarterback, you gotta realize that's what they're playing. And yeah, you don't always want to give them what they're giving or take what they're giving you when they're like just planning on going and rallying. But at some point you can't, like, it's better than throwing an interception than like checking it down and getting 5 yards.
No, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, Cam, what do we need to see from Ty Simpson against Oklahoma for Alabama to win the game? What's going to be your key, Ty Simpson key? Is it just not turning the ball over? What are you wanting to see from Ty in this game against Oklahoma?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's obviously easy to just feel like, oh, don't turn the ball over, you'll win the game. Which, like, yeah, that's true. Like, I think if that's a huge key. If you're throwing less interceptions, if you're fumbling the ball less than Oklahoma is, you're probably at an advantage, given you completely outgained them and outplayed them, other than those 3 plays that were turnovers. I don't know. I think my key for Ty is look like you have some confidence out there and like you're reading coverage as well. I don't think the game has to be on Ty's shoulder. I would prefer the game to be on the defense's shoulder, and you're playing like a Iowa type, like I was saying before we hopped on the call, an Iowa type game where you're playing to put them in a bad field position. You're gonna run the ball even though you're getting 2 yards a carry, because it means that they have to then drive down the field and score on you. And Alabama should trust their defense. They're easily the best of the 3 facets of the team. And Oklahoma has a good defense. We have a good defense. Make it a defensive battle. Don't turn this into, oh, they capitalized on a few turnovers and they're going to play conservative because they're up, or they don't have to push because they're not down by a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just going to have to be a thing where we can't put it all on his shoulders. But if we're gonna have a chance to win this thing, we got to ride. We got to ride with Ty. Yeah. That's just what we have to do.
For sure.
But
yeah, if you're not going to make a change in the Georgia game and change the quarterback when it's clear Ty is having a lot of struggle and isn't doing that well, you're going to ride with him the rest of the year.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Season. Yep.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Hope everybody has a Merry Christmas. Hope everybody gets the gifts that they want, and maybe I get a webcam. That's what we're holding out for. But until then, roll Tide, guys. Have a great rest of your week.
Roll Tide.